Canadians, of course, were listening keenly to what Donald Trump had to say today, insofar as a threat that he levied after first winning the election, which was to apply a 25% blanket tariff on day one of his presidency. So far, no executive order to that effect, which has given many politicians in this country, or in that country, I should say, north of the border, a sense that we may have won a brief, at least, reprieve. Here to get some more information about how exactly this is being interpreted by the federal government, I'm joined by Federal Minister of Innovation and Industry, Francois-Philippe Champagne. Minister, good to see you. Thank you for making the time.
Good to be with you, huh?
I appreciate it. So you were inside. I got to ask you first, what was it like in there?
Listen, I support the decision to do it inside. Trust me, for the viewers, it's pretty freezing here in Washington today. It was really special. Obviously, I was what they call, you had the swearing in the rotunda, and we were in the what they call the adjacent room, Emancipation Hall, as they call it, inside the Capitol. I was there with the governors, military leaders, a number of representatives of different states. But, you know, you could feel in the room that we were entering a new chapter or a new book. I mean, you could feel it in the room when President Trump came and spoke. And there was a lot of energy. You know, there was a lot of energy in that room, and people were saying yes. You could hear from his speech about ambition, kind of a change of tone, I would say, in Washington. And like you said, he did not mention Canada specifically when it comes to tariffs. So we'll see. You know, let's be cautious. We're only hours in within a Trump presidency, but it was good to be here to make the case. I had a chance to talk to a lot of governors, and they get it. They're in the front line, and so we're going to continue to advocate for Canada.
So let me ask you bluntly, did the incoming administration, or have they explicitly said to you or any other member of the federal government, we are doing what the Wall Street Journal reported this morning, which is instead launching a study into the trade relationship between our two countries and not immediately applying these tariffs? Like, do you have a specific assurance to that effect?
Listen, I spent all my day in the Capitol. You know, I started at 8:30 there, so I was not, you know, I was with the people inside the Capitol. But what I've seen is what you reported, what we've seen in the papers saying, if they want a dialogue, that's good. You know, we're not rivals, we're partners. I kept telling them, I hope you're happy to see me because I represent your biggest customer. You know, we buy more from you than China, Japan, the UK, and France combined. I remember jokingly a governor said, oh, China is our biggest trading partner. I said, Governor, with respect, Canada is by far your largest trading partner. You know, China might be number 8 or 10. So we still need to make the case. You know, our job in Washington with premiers and the ambassador and colleagues was about preventing and preparing. So I think it seems that the message has been heard, at least from the governors, people that were, you know, we were talking, we had a few hours to chat and engaging with each other. So they get it, they're in the front line. But we need to continue. Like you said, this is today, and we know we have a lot to go. But if there's a dialogue about what we can do more, manufacturing, resources, natural resources, you know, that's what we want to see.
And I have some questions about how that will play out. But I remember speaking with you exactly a year ago when Team Canada, so-called Team Canada, was reformed under the prospect of it could be Donald Trump again. So you have spent, you and your colleagues, the last year making the case. But as you just described, the people in and around Donald Trump have yet to be convinced. Why is that? Why has the message delivered by you and your colleagues failed to punch through?
Well, I would say, I always talk about, obviously, Canada and the uniqueness of the relationship. And I almost talk about the exceptionality of Canada because of the integrated nature of supply chain. I think this is well understood by a number of people. You know, despite the rhetoric, people understand that, you know, what President Trump was saying, in a way, that should be good for Canada, because if we want to do more manufacturing, if he wants to do more on the energy side, if you want to export more, because of the integrated nature, let's seize the moment. Let's work with them. Let's see. You know what? We already have that. So let's put not America alone, but North America first. Make sure that we do that together. And I would say, Vassy, you know, we've been engaging with them. You know, the fact that he did not mention Canada specifically about tariff, I think is a good thing. But let's see over the next few days. If it's a dialogue, that's a positive thing for Canada.
Yeah, is it really, with all due respect, something to hang our hat on? Because I take your point, certainly the fact that there isn't a tariff right now is not a bad thing. But I listened very closely to the way he and his Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, today described what they believe to be the utility of tariffs, right? They want to raise revenue on tariffs instead of through income taxes. They spoke about that on multiple occasions today. So what makes you think this could last longer than a day?
Well, listen, we're going to take it step by step. Like I said, today was already something positive, but let's not, like you said, hang our hat on that. We're going to continue robustly to do that. But let's say they understand that they cannot be tariffs without consequences. They cannot be tariffs without impact. And there cannot be tariffs without cost for U.S. consumers. And I think you remember in his speech, he said part of his job is to make sure, the whole issue about affordability. He wants to make, U.S. consumers top of mind, reduce prices. So I think they understand that because of the integrated nature of what we do, it would have a consequence on U.S. consumers. And by the way, the Americans are not buying from Canada because they want to be polite. They're buying from Canada because they buy what they need from Canada. So my point is that we already have an auto pact with them. Why don't we look at an energy pact? Why don't we look at the defense pact? Because, we want to rebuild also our industrial base. We've started. He wants to do that. I think there's a lot of common interest we can have in rebuilding manufacturing in North America and in Canada, obviously.
But I wonder, as you describe that, and I've heard some premiers today talk about that too. Hey, let's look at this as an opportunity. Lots of the stuff he talked about could foster even a greater relationship between our two countries. Isn't that, though, more interdependence, more of us being dependent on that relationship at the exclusion of others, and therefore more vulnerability? Shouldn't Donald Trump and the fact that he's back again 4 years later have taught us to be less reliant on the United States? And why hasn't your government pursued that?
I think we can do both. In a sense, you want to do with your a partner like the United States, where you listen to President Trump and where he wants to bring America. He wants to bring America forward. It's about inspiring ambition. I mean, that should be positive by definition for Canada. Now, to your point about diversification, Canada is already the only G7 country which has a free trade agreement with all the other G7 nations. We did that. So at the same time we do that,
we still rely so much on three-quarters of our exports come here, right?
And I'm with you. That's why I'm saying on one end, you have, I think, he has galvanized U.S. industry and U.S. business. So there's something positive about that we can work because, by the way, most of these companies have plants and operations on both sides of the border. They understand that. At the same time, to your point, let's make sure that we do things faster. We are more nimble. We are more strategic. We are to the point. We need to get things done faster in our country. We need to seize that opportunity that we have now to really make sure that we are the best partner that we can be. At the same time that we look at other markets and we diversify our economy.
With all due respect, though, I feel like 4 years ago, you and I could have had the same conversation. Why hasn't your government pursued other avenues so we are not in the vulnerable state that we're in right now? And I take even something as simple as interprovincial trade, right, which the National Bank this week said was the equivalent of a 21% tariff. You just struck up, I think it was a few months ago, another committee to look at the possibility of lowering those barriers. You've been in office for 9 years and they're not down.
We need to do more, but on the other hand, Vassy, I would say, look at the other side. We have rebuilt the industrial landscape of Canada. You look at CDR after the Second World War. When it comes to biomanufacturing, look at the auto sector. You look at critical minerals. We've done a lot of things that will be complementary to what the Americans are doing today. I would take
Except for he's repealing the Inflation Reduction Act, which is
what
your industrial policy is based on.
You know what he said? He said people will have a choice. He's moving away from the mandates, but people... And remember, he seems to have an advisor who runs the largest electric vehicle company in the world, which is the 7th largest market cap, which is Tesla, of 1.3 trillion. So...
he's still getting rid of mandates.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, he said people should have a choice. So in a way, I think that you will see the influence, of Elon Musk in that or other things. But one thing that I can say is that I think we are better prepared now to do that. We have rebuilt our manufacturing landscape. We need to do more. And for me, you can always look at that as a challenge and opportunity. I want a confident Canada. I want a strong Canada. I want an ambitious Canada. This is the thing we've been pushing and say, let's do more now. This is an opportunity.
Why does it take the U.S. with a so-called gun to our head, again, with all due respect, to force us to have ambition, to do more, to try and diversify?
Well, with all
Why
due
weren't
respect,
you doing
I think
it before?
I've said that many times. I want an ambitious Canada. This is not, I like that the president said it, but I've been repeating that we need to be more ambitious. We need to do things faster. We need to have the confidence. We need to feel that this country has everything to succeed in the 21st century. And now we have a partner in the United States who wants to do more, which brings a very new agenda. So, hey, listen, let's seize the moment. This is an opportunity for Canada. I've never been more hopeful about Canada. And I think North America is going to succeed in this economy of the 21st century, and we're going to be there.
Okay, I'm going to leave it on that note. Minister, a pleasure as
always a
always. I
pleasure.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I know it's been cold today
Yeah,
for you.
it's all right. I appreciate it. That's Francois-Philippe Champagne, the Minister of Industry.